How many times have you been told you can't grow food at home because you don't have a garden, because you don't have a balcony with sun, because your apartment faces north and there's no direct sunlight? The global indoor agriculture industry is generating millions of dollars annually with hydroponic systems, LED lights, and technological equipment costing hundreds of dollars. What they don't tell you is that at least 15 edible crops can grow and produce in a jar of water next to a window without direct sunlight, without expensive technology, and with an initial investment of less than $5. Today, I'm showing you 15. Stay until the end because number 8, mint, grows aggressively and permanently in water, and number 14 is the crop that generates the highest economic return on this entire list in the shortest possible time, in total darkness. Subscribe to Ancient Harvest because every week we bring you the secrets of food production that the industry prefers you don't know about. Here are the 15 fast crops you can grow without direct sunlight. Number 1. Lettuce in a glass of water. Zero soil, zero sun. Continuous production. Lettuce, Lactuca sativa, especially leaf varieties like Lolo Rosso and oak leaf, can regenerate from the stem you normally throw away after cutting the leaves. Place the base, about 5 centimeters, in a glass of water in any room with indirect light. In 3 to 5 days, new leaves start emerging from the center. You won't get a full head of lettuce, but you can harvest fresh baby leaves for 2 to 3 weeks, continuously, before the base exhausts itself. The base you are going to throw in the trash can give you several servings of fresh salad. Zero investment. Zero space. Zero direct sunlight needed. Number 2. Green onions in water. The most impressive regrowth on this list. Green onions, Allium fistulosum, are the plant with the most efficient and fastest regrowth in water on this entire list. Cut the white part with roots, place it in a glass of water, and in 2 to 3 days, the shoots begin growing at a visible rate, up to an inch per day in good conditions. A single green onion base can produce 3 to 4 consecutive harvests before losing vigor. In a kitchen with north-facing light, away from direct sun, green onions grow without any problems. 4 or 5 green onion bases in a jar on the counter provide a permanent supply of this herb that costs between $1 and $3 per bunch at the supermarket. Number 3. Basil cuttings in water. The herb that roots without soil. Basil, Ocimum basilicum, roots easily in water from a cutting with at least 2 leaf nodes. Cut a stem of about 10 centimeters, remove the bottom leaves, place it in a glass of clean water in a room with indirect light. Roots appear in 5 to 7 days. In 2 weeks, you have a productive plant you can keep in water indefinitely by changing the water weekly and adding a drop of liquid fertilizer monthly. The chain method. Every time you prune a stem for cooking, put the cutting in water and multiply your supply. The herb that keeps giving back from a single supermarket purchase. Number 4. Garlic sprouts. The gourmet ingredient that grows in your kitchen drawer. Garlic sprouts, Allium sativum, appear when a garlic clove germinates, something most people consider a sign the garlic has gone bad and throw it away. Those green sprouts have a delicate garlic flavor without the raw pungency, and are used as a gourmet garnish in European and Asian restaurants. Place the sprouted clove in a shallow dish of water, and the shoot grows 10 to 15 centimeters in a week without any direct light. You don't need soil, you don't need a pot, you don't even need a window. The gourmet ingredient chefs use to garnish premium dishes grows from the clove you are about to discard. Number 5. Celery regrown from its base. The stalk that comes back from the dead. Celery, Apium gravolens, can regenerate from its base in a manner similar to lettuce. Cut the base of a celery bunch, about 5 centimeters, and place it in a shallow dish with a centimeter of water. New stalks begin to emerge from the center in 3 to 5 days. In 2 weeks, the base produces enough small stalks for soups, stews, and smoothies. It doesn't need direct sun. A countertop near a window with ambient light is sufficient. The vegetable you thought was single-use actually has a second life programmed into its genetics. Number 6. Bok choy in water. The Asian vegetable that regrows faster than lettuce. Bok choy, Brassica rapavar, chinensis, regrows from its base in water even faster than lettuce. Cut the base, place it in a shallow dish, and in 48 hours, new leaves begin sprouting from the center. In 1 week, you have enough leaves for a stir-fry. This brassica tolerates low light conditions perfectly and is richer in calcium, vitamin C, and vitamin K than regular lettuce. The Asian vegetable gaining popularity in Western markets regenerates at home faster than you can eat it. 6 crops, all of them in water, all without direct sunlight, all from scraps or cuttings that cost nothing, while the urban agriculture industry sells hydroponic kits for hundreds of dollars. A glass of water and a piece of vegetable you were about to throw away does the same thing. Hit the like button now. Every like helps more people discover that you don't need money, space, or direct sunlight to produce your own food. Now comes the most extraordinary part. Number 7. Watercress. The superfood that only needs a damp dish. Watercress, Nasturtium officinale, is an aquatic plant by nature, meaning it doesn't just tolerate water as a growing medium, it's its natural habitat. Place watercress stems with root nodes in a shallow dish of clean water, and it will grow indefinitely. It has more vitamin C than oranges, more calcium than milk, and more iron than spinach per equivalent weight, according to the CDC, which classifies it as the #1 powerhouse fruit and vegetable in terms of nutrient density. It doesn't need direct sun. Change the water every 2 days. The most nutritious vegetable in the world, according to the CDC's own ranking, grows in a dish of water on your countertop. Number 8. Mint in water. The plant that takes over in the best way. Mint, Mentha spp, is one of the easiest plants to root and grow in water indefinitely. A 10-centimeter cutting produces roots in 3 to 5 days. Once rooted, mint continues growing aggressively in water, producing new stems and leaves for months without soil. Change the water weekly and add a drop of liquid fertilizer monthly. Mint thrives in indirect light and even tolerates low light conditions. A single cutting from a neighbor's plant or a supermarket bunch gives you a permanent supply of the herb that costs up to $5 per bunch. The plant gardener's fear for being invasive becomes the gift that keeps giving when confined to a jar. Number 9. Lemongrass. The tropical herb that grows in a glass of water year-round. Lemongrass, Cymbopogon citratus, can be grown from a single stalk purchased at an Asian grocery store. Place the stalk in a glass of water after trimming the top. Roots emerge in 1 to 2 weeks. Once rooted, lemongrass continues growing in water indefinitely, though it does better when eventually transferred to soil. Its essential oil has documented antimicrobial properties, and it's used extensively in Southeast Asian cuisine. It tolerates indirect light and indoor conditions. The stalk from a single Thai curry kit becomes a permanent herb supply. Number 10. Sweet potato slips, the most nutritious vine that grows in total darkness. Sweet potato, Ipomoea batatas, produces slips, new vine shoots, when submerged halfway in water using toothpicks to suspend it. The slips grow rapidly in any light condition, even in a dark kitchen corner. Sweet potato leaves are edible and more nutritious than the tuber itself. Richer in protein, iron, and vitamin K according to USDA data. The vines are also ornamental, with heart-shaped leaves that cascade beautifully from shelves. You grow them for food and decoration simultaneously. The root that feeds half of sub-Saharan Africa also produces edible greens in a jar on your desk. Number 11. Ginger in a pot with indirect light. The root that hates sunlight. Ginger, Zingiber officinale, is one of the few valuable crops that actually prefers shade. In its native tropical forest understory habitat, ginger grows beneath tree canopies with only filtered light. Plant a piece of ginger rhizome in a pot with loose soil, water it regularly, and in 8 to 10 months you'll harvest fresh ginger. It thrives in north-facing windows and rooms without direct sun. The root you buy at the store for cooking is also a planting rhizome. The crop that actively dislikes direct sunlight is the most expensive root per gram at your grocery store. Number 12. Pothos as an air purifier and propagation teacher. The indestructible companion. Pothos, Epipremnum aureum, isn't food, but it deserves a place here because it's the perfect plant for anyone starting their indoor growing journey. It grows in water indefinitely, tolerates near darkness, and teaches you the fundamentals of water propagation, root health observation, and plant care that transfer directly to growing edible crops in water. NASA identified it as one of the top air-purifying indoor plants. Consider it your training plant. If you can grow pothos in water, you can grow everything else on this list. The plant that survives everything you throw at it is also the best teacher you'll ever have for indoor gardening. We're in the final stretch, and what's coming includes the crops with the highest economic return and the fastest production cycles on this entire list. I spent over 200 hours researching indoor crop production rates, nutritional comparisons, and water propagation protocols to compile not only the 15 in this video, but more than 40 additional crops that can be grown indoors, with complete protocols for water culture, substrate alternatives, and light requirements. Everything is in a digital guide you can save on your phone. The link is the first thing in the description. Subscribe to Ancient Harvest, because number 14 is going to change how you think about that empty dark corner of your kitchen. Number 13. Turmeric in a pot with indirect light. The golden root that thrives in shade. Turmeric, Curcuma longa, like ginger, is a tropical understory plant that grows naturally in shade. Plant a piece of fresh turmeric rhizome from the market in a pot with loose, well-drained soil, and it will grow in any room with ambient light, even without direct sun. The harvest cycle is 8 to 9 months, after which you dig up the rhizomes and keep part for replanting. Fresh turmeric has up to 12 times more bioavailable curcumin than commercial powder. The golden superfood that costs premium prices at health food stores grows in the same conditions as ginger, in the shade, in a pot, without expensive equipment. Number 14. Oyster mushrooms in a box. The darkness crop with the highest return. Oyster mushrooms, Pleurotus ostriatus, don't just tolerate darkness, they require it. They grow on damp cardboard, straw, or coffee grounds inside a box or bag in a closet, under the sink, or in any dark corner. The production cycle is 3 to 4 weeks. A single inoculation kit, costing $10 to $15, produces several hundred grams of gourmet mushrooms that sell for between $8 and $25 per kilo at organic markets. Subsequent cycles can be started from spent substrate or new grain spawn. The crop that requires zero light, zero sunlight, and minimal space has the highest documented economic return per square meter of all indoor crops. The dark corner you thought was useless just became the most profitable space in your home. Number 15. Broccoli microgreens on damp paper. The 10-day superfood cycle. Broccoli microgreens, Brassica oleracea. Close this list because they combine everything. They grow on damp paper towels without soil. They don't need direct sunlight. The cycle from seed to harvest is 7 to 10 days, and their nutritional profile is extraordinary. Johns Hopkins research documents that broccoli microgreens contain 20 to 50 times more sulforaphane than mature broccoli. A 40 by 60 centimeter tray produces 150 to 300 grams of microgreens. The market value of organic broccoli microgreens reaches $20 to $40 per 100 grams at specialty stores. The fastest, most nutritious, and most economically valuable crop on this entire list needs no sun, no soil, and fits on a kitchen tray. This is where our list ends, and where your food autonomy begins. 15 crops. 15 demonstrations that you don't need a garden, direct sunlight, expensive technology, or agricultural experience to produce your own food. A jar of water, kitchen scraps, a dark corner, a tray with damp paper. That's all. The indoor agriculture industry wants to sell you $300 LED systems and high-tech hydroponic kits. You need a glass, water, and the vegetable base you are going to throw away. Start today, right now. Cut the base off the green onion you bought for dinner and put it in a glass of water. Tomorrow morning, you'll see the first growth. In a week, you'll have your first harvest. And in a month, you'll understand why food sovereignty doesn't require a farm. It requires knowledge. Leave me a comment and tell me which crop you're starting first and where in your home you'll put it. And remember, the complete guide with the 40 additional crops, the complete protocols, and the indoor production data is available right now. First link in the description. Subscribe to Ancient Harvest. The garden you were looking for was always inside your home. You just needed someone to show it to you.